Hi everyone, I'm Bruce Swartz. A lot going on. I want you to take the time to view this video and of course to pass it along. Here's Tycho crater, the entire screen. Blur, you say? Well, hang on. You gotta love this blur, because inside of the blur, like everyone says, why do you only show blurry UFOs? And you're still not understanding, guys, that it's because we're close. Watch this. In color, over Tycho crater, we are seeing UFOs go by. What are UFOs? Could be debris, biological life, or crafts. Nothing else. What's going by right now looks like it's jumping up and down all the pieces simultaneously. That is the oscillation. Like many of you forget, all the structures and objects on the surface also oscillate simultaneously on the page. Compare, understand how I'm getting these, and see that it's the real truth. These are objects, no matter what they may be. Here's a pile of objects, several of them. Some of these objects look like they have long branches leaving them. Very real. The black dot always in this video is the center of Tycho crater. We can see objects at times come out of the darkness of Tycho crater. This object surprised me and appeared sporadically, as many objects did, just appear out of nowhere going by Tycho crater, large enough for us to be able to see, because think of it, here's that little black dots. Look at the bottom there. Several small black dots racing around the other object that's going by. Here's Tycho crater center again, bottom right. Look at the left here, just came into the view of the screen. Something beautiful again. It's objects that we do not know what they are on the surface. But now let me tell you something. For those of you who think it's floating debris, it would be debris, UFOs, that are a couple of hundreds of meters off the surface. And now, one of my favorite parts, really close up view of Clavius crater and all its craterlets, Porter, all the way down the rundown. Look at the colors emanating from the edge. Of course, could be light, could be refraction, whatever. That's not what's interesting me. This is interesting me. That objects are going now in a northwesterly direction, more of a, western direction, because the moon is turned right now. And yeah, what are we looking at? This is where I showed you 2 days ago, the pipe. It starts here and goes all the way up to the edge here. Other objects, symmetrical objects, companies, guys. This is an industrial complex. The entire moon looks industrialized. Is it active or not? Analyzing the proof, the facts, could leave us to believe that it is. So, space debris or not? Could be. You know, they're all flying in the same direction. I'm not talking about the oscillation. It's hard to understand. Like, try to understand me. They're all oscillating because everything oscillates. They're flying. These objects are going in a straight path, but not necessarily have any direction, seeming not to go anywhere, just following each other. They could be going to the same area. It could be just debris. Some of that could be satellites. We're not hiding it. My goal is to try to see out there what's going on. Some channels post things and say, look, UFO on the moon. It's not necessarily on the moon. It's in the atmosphere or in space between Earth and the moon, because they're just far too close. And pressed up against the surface of the moon like this is what I'm trying to prove to you, that it's on the surface that we're seeing these objects. And if not, well, so be it. Between Earth and the moon, yeah, there's a hell of a lot of debris. That we know. And I really don't think that the satellites would be in groups. Obviously, we can rule that out too for these groups. But again, could be a satellite or two amongst these. They're too far away for us to be able to see them right now. But the beautiful truth of it all is that we're getting a glimpse of it. And for those who appreciate this, I thank you. Now, we're going to see different types of unidentified flying objects. Watch here where the arrow is. In about 8 seconds, you're going to see a UFO come down from the top center here and to go a bit off towards the right in about 5, 4, 3. Keep your eyes there. 1. There it is. I'll move the arrow. Watch its path. It's going down. It looks like it's spiraling. We'll see it without the inversion X-ray, and we will see a spiraling object. Looks like some kind of a panel or something. It could be off. It does look like it's between Earth and the moon, obviously, but closer to the moon. This is what I'm trying to make people understand. The ones that I was showing you at the beginning really are on the surface, and I'm doing this whole video just to prove to you that the ones that I'm getting are on the surface. Throughout this video, you will see, there it is again, more objects that look like a spacecraft, more or less, object. White mists also that we see as objects. And again, this is how they are appearing to us before the cameras. So many things come into factor, whether they are different wavelengths. And why do I talk about different wavelengths? Because our eyes see at a certain wavelength between certain wavelengths measured in nanometers, and there are wavelengths measured in nanometers that cannot be seen with the human eye. For example, in infrared, we see ultraviolet rays from the sun that are invisible because it is in another wavelength. Therefore, there are so many things that we can't see with our own eyes, but at times the cameras can show us a beginning of a different wavelength. For example, watch here at the center of the screen from left to right across Mare fecunditatis there in the center, that odd object dead center, there it is. You probably didn't even see it. If you have a phone, by the way, you're not going to see any of what I'm showing you right now. Here it is, another object doing a little twist actually as it's turning on the surface of the moon. Now look at the difference in size of these objects. If this object is on the surface of the moon, it would be massive, a mile or 2 long. But if it's not, and if it's now in space over the moon and between Earth and the moon, well, we're looking at an object that could be a craft, but not really knowing exactly how close to the moon it is. This is what I'm trying to distinguish and show you guys. You see, we didn't see a shadow under this object either. We're looking at an object that's possibly between Earth and the moon, closer to the moon, yes, because I am zoomed out a lot. And this is how I'm able to tell and help you guys distinguish how far I am.